Hey, everybody, welcome to Sunday Night Setup, where you are prepping your week for love and light. My name is Jamaica Thomas. I am the founder of JT Educates, and I am here to help you get a little bit of love and light in your leadership. This week's topic is a good one. It's a good one. It is healing and resilience, leading through challenges with grace and strength. Healing and resilience, leading through challenges with grace and strength. And so I want to start off with in leadership, challenges are inevitable. But what defines a great leader isn't just how they navigate obstacles, it's how they heal, grow, and inspire resilience in others. Today, we are talking about leading through challenges with grace, patience, and hope. All right, so let's go through it again. It's not just about navigating obstacles, because we all know how to do that, right? It is about making sure, hold on one second. It is about making sure we heal, grow, and inspire resilience in others. Okay. So, as we are leading this week through love and light, how do we make sure we are providing environments and safety for people to heal and be resilient through the challenges that we have during the week? So, the definition of resilient leadership is the ability to stay grounded, adapt to adversity, and help others find strength in difficult moments. It's not about bouncing back, it's about growing through challenges. I'll say that again. Resilient leadership is the ability to stay grounded, adapt to adversity, and help others find strength in difficult moments. It's not about bouncing back, it's about growing through challenges. So, as we are dealing with difficult things that happen in our workplace, in our jobs, or in our family, right, in our own personal life, how are we being resilient? How are we helping others be resilient? And how are we healing through those difficult processes or those difficult challenges? Why healing and resiliency matters? Why does it matter as a leader? Why does healing and resilience matter as a leader? As a leader, why do you need to promote healing and resilience? Healing and resilience matters because it prevents burnout and fosters long term leadership authority. When you're thinking about being a leader and creating an environment on your team, in your school, on your job, or in your department, and you're thinking about all the challenges that you have, burnout happens, right? Because especially if you're in a season where there are difficult challenges happening one time after another, it seems like you complete one challenge or you problem solve through one challenge and then another challenge comes. You have to have something in you. You have to provide an environment for your team that allows them to be resilient. Because if you don't, it can cause burnout. It can cause burnout, and people are not working to their optimal best. When your team members are burned out, the smallest thing can send them over the edge. The smallest thing that they usually could conquer can be like the straw that breaks the camel's back. So, as a leader, you have to foster that resilient atmosphere, that healing atmosphere that helps them to bounce back, or not just bounce back, but grow through those challenges. Why healing and resiliency matter? It strengthens trust and morale within teams. If I know that this thing that I've gone through, this challenge, maybe I made a mistake, maybe I made a bad decision, and my leader is going to have my back, They're going to hold me accountable. So they're not going to just let me get away with it. They're going to hold me accountable and also help me grow through this challenge. They're going to help me see, how did I get to this decision? What was the thing that I thought was okay that really wasn't okay that led to this decision? They're going to help me get to the root of my decision making. If I am under a leader like that, I am available, or I will allow myself to take risk and maybe make a bad decision, knowing that my leader has my back, right? I've been under leaders where I was scared to make a bad decision. That is nowhere to be. I was scared to make a bad decision. It led me to anxiety. It led me to seeking out therapy. If I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be honest. It led me to seeking out counseling because I was so deathly afraid of making a bad decision and that decision being broadcast to everyone, right? And so when we're thinking about being a healing leader, a resilient leader, why do these things matter? It is because you want people to feel safe to make a wrong decision. Not that they habitually are making wrong decisions, but you want them to feel like it's okay if they make a mistake. Why does healing and resiliency matter? It creates an environment where mistakes and setbacks are opportunities to learn. I'll say that again. It creates an environment where mistakes and setbacks are opportunities to learn. When I was leading a team very recently, we had a lot of high stakes decisions and tasks to make. And a lot of times, when you are working at such a high level, when you have so many eyes on you, or when you have so many decisions to make that affect so many people, you can tend to get bogged down in the minutia, right? And one thing that I told my team is this: I said, this job is 80% dot I cross T and 20% grace. This job is 80% dot your I's, cross your T's, and it's 20% grace. And I told them that because we all are capable of making mistakes. We all are capable of something falling through the cracks. We all are capable of just missing something because we're just so focused. We missed our blind side. When we talked about blindsidedness, we miss our blind side. And so when that happens, we look at the mistake, we look at the decision, we say, you know what, I shouldn't have made that decision, or I should have caught that. We figure out what we have to do to correct it, and we move on, right? But when you foster a environment where mistakes are amplified, then people are really afraid to make them. You have to be careful as a leader, because I know that there's a lot of pressure on us as leaders to get things done. We have deadlines, we have quotas, we have um, budgets to make, and all of these things. Yes, I get it. And also, we're human. We are human. And we have to know that it is okay if we make a mistake. And then what we do is we go back to the root of that mistake. How did that happen? And then we figure out how to grow through that challenge. If we do not set up leadership or set up environments that bring those as opportunities, what happens is that you do have burnout. You do get a group of people that work for you, or even in your family, that are afraid. And you also, as one of my mentors tells me, you also set up for a duplicitous lifestyle. What does that mean? A duplicitous lifestyle means that a person is one way with you, and then there's somewhere else, another way with someone else. Now, what does that mean in leadership? You can have a person that works under you that makes you think that they have it all together. And then when they're with somebody else, they tell them, oh, no, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just confused. But they're afraid to tell you that they do not have the thing that you're asking for, right? So we have to make an environment where people are afraid to make mistakes. And when those mistakes happen, we help them grow through them. Okay? All right. So, how do we lead with grace? Because if you're going to be create an environment of healing and resiliency, you have to lead with grace. You have to lead with grace. Step one: acknowledge challenges openly. How do you lead with grace? You tell people, "Oh, we got a problem." That is how you do that. You acknowledge openly that there is a challenge, because guess what? They're going to figure out there's a challenge. And then they're going to be like, oh, my boss didn't tell me that this thing was happening. And so now they're looking at you two ways to Sunday, because you have not presented them a full truth of a matter, right? So if you're leading people with grace, if you want to create environments of healing and resiliency, you have to acknowledge that there are challenges. Avoiding problems does not solve them. Avoiding problems does not solve them. How many of us have been in meetings where there was a huge elephant in the room and nobody said anything? And we're just bumping along, taking our notes, doing our pleasantries, asking people how their weekend was, and we know that there is a huge problem. We know that there's a huge problem, and nobody is willing to say anything. That's not leading with grace. That is allowing people to come up with their own narratives, or have narratives outside of you, because they're going to talk about it. The conversation is going to happen, but it won't happen with you, right? So they're going to talk about it. But if we are leading with grace, we acknowledge problems, because avoiding problems doesn't solve them. Step two: regulate emotions and stay centered. Regulate your emotions and stay centered. Now, this is the thing about me. I can tend to get emotional. As you can tell, I'm very animated at times. And I can tend to get emotional when I'm really invested in something, or there's a huge injustice. When I find myself getting emotional, what I've learned, this is causing me to be dysregulated. And so if I am dysregulated, I need to step away. I need to say, you know what, give me 10 minutes. I would say, hey, let me go sit in the car. Or I would say, you know what, just can we table this until tomorrow? Because I can feel the heat rising up the back of my neck. And I can feel the words starting to form in my head that I might not want to say right then. And I can feel my face, because my friends talk about my face all the time. I can feel my face telling things that I don't want it to say yet. And so, what I do when I get emotional about something, because I am so passionate about the things that I do, I'm so passionate about what I have in my hand, that I tend to get emotional when things aren't going my way, or I feel that there's injustice, right? And so I do step away. I take time to step away. There's another thing that I say when I feel my brain getting full. I can't explain it any other way, but there are times that I have just come to a capacity with a thing where I can't think about it, I can't move, I'm just stuck. And I'll just say, hey, give me a couple of minutes. My brain is full right now. And what that means is that I have come to the capacity, to my own capacity to function in an optimal level at this point with this thing. Let's change gears, right? And that's just me being very self aware and honest with myself. Because I'll tell you what has happened when I do not do that. I start getting anxious and I really start making mistakes. And so when I feel myself being dysregulated, I know that there are boundaries and things that I have to do in order to step away so I can come back as my best self. Okay. Number three: make decisions with patience, not panic. Make decisions with patience and not panic. Rush decisions often lead to poor outcomes. I have been there. There have been times that I have had a task where I had to do something with some numbers, like count people to go on a trip or something like that. And I have totally miscalculated. And I had to do it, hand it over to somebody I trust and say, hey, can you do this for me? Because right now I am in a panic and I can't do it. And that's just me being honest about myself. And I say, hey, do you mind taking this over? Because right now I just can't do it. Right. And I'm not copping out. I actually trust this person more. And I know that they have the capacity to do it. So I'm handing it over. It builds relationships with teams when you are able to make decisions out of with patience and not panic. And it brings awareness to you and it helps your team members trust you more and you trust them more. Right. Um, I want you, when you step away, I want you to breathe, take a pause. I'll get back with you. I said that earlier. Breathe, take a pause. I'll get back with you. There have been times that people have called me with a huge problem and I can't really figure it out, or I have other things going on right then. And I have to say, give me a beat, give me a second, let me handle this first and then do something else. Or there are times that I have to, what I call, turn my brain off. And what does that mean? Turning my brain off often means me taking my phone and actually playing like a little game really quickly to just kind of neutralize my brain. Or it might be that I might answer an email, or it might be that I often might even scroll on some type of social media or watch a quick reel or something to turn my brain off. And then once I kind of turn my brain off, I'm able to step back into that role. Right. And so that's just me being aware of how I operate. And then step four, show compassion to yourself and others. Healing leadership means recognizing when people need space to recover. So not only do I need space, I need to recognize when my team needs some space. I need to recognize when people who are under me need space. I need to recognize when my coworker needs space. In the position that I'm in now, my supervisor, I could tell that she was becoming overwhelmed, and I just whispered to her, breathe, just breathe. It's gonna be okay. Just breathe, right? We need to recognize when other people need space and place to recover because our jobs are hard. Leading is hard. What we're asked to do has great responsibility and great accountability. And we fool ourselves if we think we can just plunge through without getting scraped or bruised. We all need healing in our leadership journeys. And remember, leadership does not just mean someone with a title. As moms, as dads, as older brothers and sisters, as people in church, people who lead in organizations, sororities, fraternities, we have to understand that this leadership journey will give us bumps and bruises and cuts, and we have to give our space to heal, give us a space to heal, and we have to give others a place and space to heal. All right. Okay. So, what's our call to action? So, every week I give us something to do to help us lead or grow in aspects of leading in love and light. And so, our call of action this week, take a moment to reflect. How do you respond to challenges? How do you respond to challenges? This week, commit to one small act of healing or resilience. This week, commit to one small act of healing or resilience. You can take time to reset. You can encourage people on your team, or you can shift your mindset about a certain challenge or situation you have. Okay. All right. Just remember, this leading journey ain't no joke. This leadership journey is no joke. And we will get bruised. As they say in the church, bruised, battered, and scorned. We will get bruised. And we have to give place and space for us to have environments of healing and resiliency. And we have to be so in tune to our teammates and people around us that we give them space to heal and grow. All right, that's it for this week for Sunday night setup. Prep your week for love and light. This week was healing and resiliency, challenges with grace and strength. Remember, I want you to be light, be love, and lead boldly. Again, be light, be love, and lead boldly. Y'all have a good week.